Y'all real quick. This a quick live right here. This one of them. This one of them quick. This one of them quick lives right here. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Hurry up. Hurry up. Grab a plate. Grab a plate. I have some food I want to serve you. I have some food for thought. Come on in. Yeah. Listen, quick live. You know how I do. Nobody knows I'll be coming on here. We're just live. We're here. Listen, right? Devin Haney is supposed to be Devin Haney. Devin Haney is supposed to be negotiating with Rolly, right? This is what we're hearing. This is word on the street, right? Devin Haney's supposed to be receiving offers from Rolly Romero. I mean, that's just what everybody's talking about all of a sudden, right? Since when do boxers I try to teach the business and most people don't listen. But since when do boxers that have exclusive rights given to promoters and managers, when do they start sending offers? When do they even start receiving offers from other professional fighters? Like, when is somebody going to hold Bill Haney accountable for this top 10 list that in the beginning Rolly wasn't ever on in the first place? Bill Haney just went on Brian Custer, and I didn't see the interview. But he went on Brian Custer's platform. I don't know when, but the video came out earlier today. And he talked about when Brian Custer asked him who's next, he went and did an entire soliloquy. You know how Bill Haney gaslight, right? And I'm not talking bad about him. I'm just keeping it real. He never gave a definitive answer on who Devin was fighting next. But he actually said that he added somebody else to the list that might be the next fight for Devin at 154, and that's Xander Zayas, right? I have a question on that. Let's say Devin do want to fight Xander Zayas, and let's say Devin do want to move up to the 154-pound division. As I quote Bill Haney that says Devin can be a 4-division world champion. Let's say that that's possible for Devin to do. Now, why is Tank Davis' name on this list? If Devin Haney is willing to move all the way up to 154 pounds, why is Devin Haney willing to fight Tank Davis at 135? Does that make sense to you all? Because it definitely doesn't make sense to me. You know what would have made sense? It would have made sense if Devin Haney would have fought Tank Davis after he fought Lomachenko. Y'all remember that? You know what it would have made sense? You know what it would have made sense? If Devin Haney would have fought Shakur Stevenson around the same time after he fought Lomachenko. Both of those fights would have made sense. But that's not what happened. What did happen was that Devin Haney moved up to the 140-pound division to fight a very easy opponent, Regis Prograis. And they did a good job. Thank you, Victor Conti. R.I.P. to Victor. You know, we got to start giving Victor his flowers now that he's not here. We should have been giving him his flowers when he was here. I know I was. When I kept saying the snack program works. Thank Victor Conti for all of these fighters who are moving up in weight and capturing world titles. You know, like Terrence Crawford did. You know, like Sean Porter did. You know, like Devin Haney did. You know, like how Clarissa Shields did. You know how like Caleb Plant did. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was giving Victor his credit when he was here. I was giving him his flowers while he was here. And we can start giving him his flowers even still now. And if you haven't when he was here, give him his flowers now. Because Devin Haney would not have been productive the way he's been with the physique that he has maintained and even grown. And of course, his performances that have been enhanced. It would not have been so if it wasn't for the late, great Victor Conte. Now, enough about that. The point that I'm making is this, because Victor Conte is not here anymore. And I would be surprised if Devin Haney can go all the way down in weight to fight Tank Davis and then move all the way back up. Stop playing these games, man. So you already know this is just propaganda by Bill Haney. And that's good if Bill want to use this for promotional, respects and promotional usage to get Devin's name out there and keep his name alive. I think it's awesome. But just stop lying. That's all. Tank Davis' name is not on the list. Okay? Now, we all know this. Double salute to all the members of the channel, supervisors of the Road to Tape film crew. I see you. I see you. I see you live. I see you. Yeah, Ryan Garcia suspended again, right? What? He is. You ain't going to find this nowhere else. That's why I'm glad y'all here. Yeah, Ryan Garcia is suspended again. Okay? He is. I'll let y'all go ask Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia. DM him. Ask them guys why he's suspended. I know why he's suspended, but, Hey, bottom line, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because we know that Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney is the biggest fight in boxing for the welterweight division. We know this already. I don't want to hear Rolly's name right now. I don't. And I'm going to tell you why I don't want to hear his name associated with Devin Haney's name. Not right now. Because Devin Haney can make way more money and will make way more money, generate way more interest, and generate way more revenue fighting Ryan Garcia in a rematch opposed to a Rolly Romero. And we all know that. Now, Ryan Garcia is suspended for 6 months. Okay? I just wanted to make sure that we all were clear. Ryan Garcia is suspended for 6 months. So my thing is this. What a better way for Devin Haney to capitalize off of Ryan Garcia's suspension, come back late fall 2026 this year, and then fight Ryan Garcia. Perfect timing for Devin Haney. Perfect timing for him. More of a lucrative opportunity financially and more of an advantage for him performance-wise inside of that boxing ring against Ryan Garcia. That's why I'm saying that. So I'm here trying to back the play of Devin Haney for this Ryan Garcia fight. You know I'm for the fighters. You all know that. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's giving me love. Double salute to all of you. I see you. Much love and support to all of you. And thank you for your support. Thank you. I appreciate the love tonight. Look, I drive by now. I drive by and just pull up and do lives. You never know when I'm coming. You never know. But here's the thing. Ryan Garcia is suspended for 6 months, right? We know Ryan Garcia is not as disciplined as Devin Haney. Devin Haney usually stay in shape, right? Even if he gained a couple of pounds, it's not too far off from where he really need to be when it's time to go into a training camp. Right or wrong? I'm talking about overall, Devin Haney's discipline, according to his history, has always been good. Ryan Garcia's hasn't. So what I'm saying is, if Ryan Garcia is suspended for 6 months, which I just told y'all he is, that will be a great advantage for Devin, because Ryan Garcia most likely is going to balloon in weight. Okay? He's going to balloon in weight now. We know this to be true. And then he's going to have to go into a training camp. They call it a fat camp, when you got to go into training camp and try to drain weight and lose the weight, opposed to focusing on strategy, conditioning, mental, and physical game planning, right? It distracts a fighter from all the essentials that benefit fighters in a legitimate training camp. Why not use that to your advantage, Devin Haney, opposed to talking about some Xander Zayas, Bill Haney? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying now. Double salute to 1981 GOAT. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the live chat. Can we get one more like? You know I don't ask for much. Can I get one more like, please? Somebody just complimented my shirt. Thank you. Who was that? The chat was moving so fast, and I didn't get a chance to see whoever that was. I appreciate it. Thank you. You know I try to have style and swag when I dress. Everybody knows that. Thank you. Salute. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you for the compliment. So that's all I'm saying. And guess what? This fight will still be hot, because don't nobody want to just leave it at Ryan Garcia fighting this random person and Devin Haney fighting this random person. Don't nobody want to leave it there. Nobody want to leave it at that. You want to know why? Because we've seen that movie already, didn't we? We've seen when Ryan Garcia fought Rolly. We've seen when Devin Haney fought Jose Ramirez, right? That was supposed to be the tune-up for both of those guys so that they can fight each other. I told y'all before, I don't know why the promotion was built around whoever wins against their opponent will be in the sweepstakes to fight the other opponent or each other. Remember I told y'all that was dumb? I told you that when it first was announced. Well, if Ryan Garcia beat Rolly, he's in the sweepstakes to fight Devin. And if Devin wins against Jose Ramirez, he's in the sweepstakes to fight Ryan Garcia. They both going to have a rematch based on all that was predicated off of them winning the fight against their respective opponents. Bad promotion. Because guess what? It didn't even matter. Rolly Romero beat Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia was able to get a second title shot. A second one. He just fought in May. Right? And within 9 months after losing, he fights again for another opportunity to win a world title. And he did that against Mario Barrios. That's good business. And of course, Devin Haney. Even his lackluster performance against Ramirez. How many punches did they say he landed? 17? Or something around there? And guess what? He was still able to get a world title shot against Brian Norman Jr. And he won. Both guys, Ryan and Devin, won in dramatic fashion. So what's the point of holding it up now? No. Next fight, get in there and fight each other. Because here's the great thing about it. It's not like you have to wait too long to unify the titles. You don't have to wait that long. Because here's the great thing about it, Devin Haney. This is what I'm going to tell Devin. Trying to help the guy. I mean, somebody send this to Bill Haney because he's the 2023 manager of the year. Right? Okay. Here's the thing. I'm trying to help these guys. Because Bill Haney will not humble himself to reach out to me so I can teach them the business of boxing. So I'm going to give them a little flavor and I'm going to let y'all go. Here's the thing. Everybody knows that Devin Haney can outbox and defeat Rolly. Correct? We all know this to be true. And this is not a knock against Rolly. I like Rolly. He's cool. It's just we know that styles make fights in boxing. Rolly Romero's style suits Devin Haney so perfectly. We've seen this before, right? Okay. Now that we've gotten that out the way and established, Bill Haney, listen to me. Somebody send this to Bill Haney, please. Somebody send this to Devin Haney, please. I've been trying to help these guys since I got on YouTube. Listen. Let's say Rolly Romero did send you an offer. It's one of the dumbest things I heard all year in boxing anyway. Okay? But let's say that's true. A legitimate offer, like a real offer that makes sense, where you can sign it and the commission will actually approve it. That's what a real offer is. Let's say that really happened. And let's say you have an opportunity to fight Rolly like next month. You know you can beat him. Easy lick. Why take the easy lick now? Capture his belt now. And then somewhere in the fall, you fight Ryan, possibly lose both titles to Ryan. No, that makes no sense to me. Absolutely not. If you got an easy lick in boxing, you save the easy lick for last. You don't have to take the easy lick up front when you know you have a harder opponent at the end of the road. Why do that? It's too much of a risk. It's too much of a gamble. Here's how you play it out. You save the easy lick for last, especially if you know you can beat Ryan. Ryan is not an easier lick than Rolly, and you already lost to Ryan. Bottom line is you've been in a ring with Ryan. You know him way better than you know a Rolly in a professional fight. And plus, you think you can beat him anyway, right? Perfect. So this is what you should do. You let Ryan Garcia blow up in weight while he's on his 6-month suspension, and let the audience members know this. Roller Tape family members, you know this. I taught you this. You didn't find this information anywhere else that I'm about to tell you. I taught you this. You learned this from me, right? To my new audience members, let me teach you. Listen, when a professional boxer is on suspension by an athletic commission, you know, like Ryan Garcia is, they cannot compete in any competitions, including training. So the likelihood of Ryan Garcia gaining weight because he's not in the gym, and I'm saying in the actual gym, I'm not talking about jogging, great. I'm talking about in the actual gym, performing on the hand mitts, the focus mitts, performing on the heavy bag, right? Doing certain drills. That's what I'm talking about, right? He's going to be ballooning in weight. So stall him out. He's sitting there for 6 months, can't participate in any training, can't participate in any professional fighting. Okay, let him gain that weight while you staying in shape for the 6 months, while you still being active in that gym. He's got to bring that weight back down, right? One advantage for Devin Haney. One advantage for Devin Haney. Second advantage for Devin Haney. You've been in the ring with him already. You took all his best punches and still got up. And we have to give Devin Haney credit. He was still pressing the attack. He stayed in Ryan Garcia's chest. Ryan Garcia did beat him up. But Devin Haney showed grit. He showed heart. He showed resilience. He still was on Ryan Garcia's backside, pressing him back. Okay, then. He still was confident. That's with him getting knocked down multiple times. So imagine getting in a fight where you don't get knocked down, Where you studied the left hook, where you studied defensive techniques to get out of the way of that left hook. Because that's what Ryan Garcia has. Now, of course, he does have a right hand too that knocked down, you know, uh, Devin and, of course, Mario Barrios. But the bottom line is, hey, Devin gained more confidence now. And you can game plan for him because you know how he's fighting already. Those are 3 advantages right there that I just named. And you know you can beat him, right? Okay, now, you go in there, have Ryan do all these little crazy things that he's usually accustomed to doing when he's blown up in weight, right? Trying to get that weight down, which is going to be his biggest disadvantage in the fight if y'all waited out in the fall, right? Now you beat Ryan Garcia, you take his belt, and if Rolly Romero, if he's still a world champion by that time, which is in the fall of this year, he's a way easier lick than Ryan. You go and beat him, take his belt off him quickly, and then guess what? Now you got 3 belts. Sounds very simple. You can do that in about that's a 9-month period. Devin can do that in a 9-month period starting today. Capture 2 world titles in 9 to 10 months against 2 guys that he believes in his heart that he can beat. That's what I think. That's what I think he should do. But who am I? I'm just a manager at Walmart. Thank you, Bill Haney. I'm just a manager at Walmart. What do I know? I don't know nothing. I know the strategy that I just put out there will work for Devin Haney's style. The problem with that is, what happens if Ryan Garcia come back and beat Devin Haney? Then what? That's what I don't want to happen to Devin. Why go up to the 147-pound division, beat Brian Norman Jr., and then lose the title to Ryan? Not 1 title, 2 titles. If you fight Rolly now. 2 titles. Because here's the thing. We know that Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney is more lucrative than a Rolly Romero against Devin Haney. We know that. I know that Devin wants everybody to believe that he's the ace side against Ryan Garcia, but we all know that that's not true. And if you believe that that's true, then you don't know too much about the business of boxing, nor do you have common sense. And I'm not here to criticize you, but if you stick around here long enough, you're going to learn it. I'm going to teach you. Rolly Romero and Devin Haney is not more lucrative than a Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. At this point, we should all know that. At this point. And I'm only bringing up the ace side and all of that because Devin Haney mentioned it. He said Ryan Garcia, he tweeted this, Ryan Garcia was DMing him, talking about he was the ace side. And the reason why I'm bringing it up too, because I have to tell Devin something why I have him and his dad, the 2023 Manager of the Year's attention. When you had the belt before, when y'all fought Ryan Garcia the first time, you took a pay cut. You took a lesser percentage than Ryan Garcia. And you was a world champion. And Ryan Garcia never even had a title before. But Bill Haney's the 2023 Manager of the Year. Because guess what? If Devin was my client, that wouldn't have never happened. I can promise you. So you mean to tell me that not only did Devin Haney agreed to take a reduced and less percentage of Ryan Garcia, less percentage to fight Ryan Garcia, while he had the world title, had to pay a 3% sanctioning fee and taxes on top of that? Where they do that at? And by the way, Ryan Garcia's purse was $1.5 million. You remember people was lying saying, oh man, reports claim that Ryan Garcia is going to make a whopping $30 million to fight Devin Haney. And then Ryan Garcia gets suspended. An injunction is filed. And then the New York State Athletic Commission impounded his entire purse, which was only $1.5 million. But when I told y'all, and I keep telling y'all, that these numbers that these guys are reporting on, and I say guys, and I mean that very simply. When I say guys, I'm talking about members of the media, because they always going by hearsay. Oh man, Conor Ben, it has a one fight deal for $15 million to show the paperwork. Ryan Garcia is going to make $30 million to fight Devin. Show the paperwork. Remember, I told Brian Norman Sr. to do that. I told him to show the paperwork. Remember, he kept bragging about his son going to make $2-3 million to fight. Oh, yeah, all right. His son made, that's what he said. His son made well over $1 million or something to fight Jen Sasaki. I said, okay. But I didn't ask you about how much y'all going to make. I just know that y'all not going to make more than fighting Boots when Eddie Hearn and his final offer was $1.75 million. That's all I was saying. Oh, we going to make $3 million when we fight such and such. Okay, show the paperwork. That's what I told Brian Norman Sr. I told him to show the paperwork. And he said, man, I ain't got to show you nothing. All right, well, then stop speaking on purses then. I feel like if people want to talk about purses, go to a fashion show. Get the point? Purses? Right. It don't make a difference what these professional boxers are making. It's none of our business. Why y'all reporting on that? What difference does it make anyway? I don't pocket watch, so I don't speak on what these fighters make. I know the business. I've been around. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is, actually. Let me not downplay that. I know exactly what it is. But the point that I'm making is Ryan Garcia and Devin makes way more money than Rolly and Devin. So why not make the money now? Tomorrow's not promised to no man or woman. You fight Ryan Garcia coming off of a suspension, coming off of gaining weight, and you know he had that injury, right? Okay. Find out why he's suspended, y'all. I already know why he's suspended, but y'all can find out. You know, a lot of content creators out here, they got inside sources. So go ask them. If you don't believe me, that's what I'm saying. If you don't believe me, go ask them. Ryan Garcia is suspended for 6 months. I've already been informed. So bottom line is, look, he's suspended for 6. He's not going to be able to compete for at least 6. We don't know how he's going to look coming back. Devin can capitalize off all of that. That's all I'm saying. That's just my personal opinion. That's all I'm saying. I mean, what do y'all think about it before we go? I just wanted to put this out there real quick. I knew about this all day today. I was going to put it in the video, but I said, I'm going to go live. I'm going to give my audience a live experience tonight. So you know me, I pull up. I do my drive-by lives, man. That's what we do. We do pull-up lives. We do drive-by lives. You never know when I'm coming on. Just always got to be ready. What do y'all think about that? Ryan Garcia versus Devin? Rolly versus Devin? Which one? I even heard somebody recently say that, Devin Haney's going to move back down to 140 to fight Shakur. Stop it. He should have forced Shakur back then when he was in his natural weight class at 135. We don't want to hear that now. Because we want Shakur to fight somebody else at 140. Shakur Stevenson even told y'all, catch weight, catch weight, catch weight. If I fight Ryan, catch weight. Shakur Stevenson already told y'all, rehydration clause if I fight Conor Ben. Same one that criticized Tank Davis for getting a rehydration clause on Ryan. Yeah, I know. Right. Okay. Speaking of Brian Norman, real quick, let me just throw this out there. Brian Norman Jr., we all know this at this point. But since I brought his name up, it triggered a memory of me um, thinking about um, talking about how I was thinking about talking about his new training situation. We know he fired his dad, right? Um, People were reporting that because he was training in Derrick James' gym. We did see that, right? Now the reports are that he is actually training or going to be training with Ronnie Shields. Ronnie Shields been in the business. Man, I remember when Ronnie Shields was training Evander Holyfield back in the 90s. I remember Ronnie. Yo, I've been seeing Ronnie Shields a lot. I'm talking about on TV way before I got into business. On TV, like with certain fighters. And I didn't know his name at first when I was a kid or a young boy. And then I started seeing him around. I'm like, wow. He trained a lot of people, especially some world champions. So this might be a good fit for Brian Norman Jr. I mean, look at the work that Ronnie Shields put in, even with Charlo. You know what I mean? Like Brian Norman Jr. has almost a similar style than Jamel. Almost. You know, he can get in there, box a little bit. He don't have a better jab than Jamel Charlo, in my opinion, but he can go in there, get in and out, like when he's trying to move in on the inside. He had power. He can be aggressive. He can walk you down too. You know what I mean? Like look at how Santillan and Brian Norman Jr. fought, right? Just look at how they fought. And think about when Jamel Charlo fought Brian Castano in their first fight. Now, of course, the Brian Castano versus Jamel Charlo first fight was more competitive and more entertaining than Brian Norman Jr. and Santillan. But the bottom line is, you see how he was pressing Brian Norman Jr. Had Brian Norman Jr. against the ropes majority of that fight, right? Until Brian Norman came off the ropes and he was letting his hands fly, and of course he dropped Santillan. It was a really good fight. But I'm just saying all that to say this might be a good fit for him based on the styles that we've seen other fighters, even Holyfield too, that fought with Ronnie Shields as their Ronnie Shields as their head trainer. It depends. I mean, everything don't click right away. And sometimes a fighter can have one fight with that new trainer and look good, and then everybody be like, "Oh, this was a great fit. They're gonna last forever." And it don't happen like that. Look at Anthony Joshua. He went and grabbed Derrick James. In his first fight, he got that knockout. And everybody was like, "Oh, it happens." Timothy Bradley Jr. He went and got the great Teddy Atlas. First fight with him. Oh, right. Sometimes it don't work like that. Sometimes it just takes one fight and then, hey, we move on. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia had Derrick James in his corner. Even when he fought Devin Haney. Oh, so this happens. Styles do make fights, but styles also make a good training camp. And I'm talking about the styles of the trainer and the styles of a fighter. So we'll have to see. It remains to be seen. We don't even know when Brian Norman Jr. is coming back to compete. We know back in August over the summer, sometime over the summer, he re-signed with Top Rank. So I'm sure they have some fights, that they're working on. I know how Carl Moretti do. These guys are really good, matchmaking over there. I told y'all how Brad Goodman do. I've been telling y'all that. So they should have something good lined up for him, to come back. Easier type of an opponent to build his confidence back up. Not only did he lose his belt, but he lost in dramatic fashion against a good fighter in Devin Haney and got knocked down by a guy in Devin Haney who's not known as a power puncher. So he's definitely going to need to build his confidence back up and not be in there with someone who has heavy hands, right? And has a little bit of boxing ability, just get him in there with somebody that can give him some work, give him some rec, as we say in the gym, and then build his confidence back up and then get him back up and running. Because Brian Norman Jr. is still young. His career is not over. And he does have, prospects of becoming a world champion again. So kudos to Brian Norman Jr. I like Brian Norman Jr. I think he's a good guy because I hear a lot of his interviews and he talks with intelligence. I love the way he carry it, just as his own man and being an independent thinker. I like that about Brian Norman Jr. And he's a good fighter too. And in my book, this is how I do it. This is just me. Once a world champion, always a world champion. Once a regional champion, always a regional champion. That's just how I carry it. And that's the respect level I give all the fighters. It don't matter if you won one title or whether it was one time or not. Once a champion, always a champion. So Brian Norman Jr. is a champion. So that's all I'm saying. Rolly Romero's still in the sweepstakes as well to fight Devin and to fight Ryan in a rematch. I mean, I wouldn't want to see Ryan and Rolly in a rematch, me personally, but he's still a world champion. So he might have plans to unify. We don't know. But this is what I like about boxing. Fighters have options at the top level where it's not so mismatched. Look at the 140-pound division. Fighters have options. Look at the 154-pound division. Fighters have options. Look, what's his name? Lamont Roach. I know he's coming off of, some draws, but he can still rumble. He's a good fighter. Can't take it away from him. World champion. He's still in the sweepstakes. Pitbull Cruz. How about a Pitbull Cruz versus Shakur Stevenson? Whew. How about a Pitbull Cruz against Keyshawn Davis? How about that one? Keyshawn Davis against Pitbull Cruz. Shakur Stevenson versus Lamont Roach. Those are four good fighters right there. 4 good fighters. Yes. Hey, look, Nair Albright's back in. Look, Nair Albright, he's back in the mix now. Love to see him and Keyshawn get that rematch in. Oh, yeah. So boxing is warming up now. The divisions are activated. We got David Benavidez against Zotto. I'm going to do a video on that tomorrow. We got, and that's that cruiserweight though. But we got some good boxing coming up, y'all. You know what I mean? So the divisions have multiple options inside of the divisions. So I'm saying all that to say, there's no point in Devin Haney going up to 54 to fight Xander. And no, man, let them guys at 54. Look, we about to get Keith Thurman against Sebastian Fundora. We still got Virgil Ortiz Jr. got to work out his legal situation with Oscar. He's still in the mix at 54. Boots, Jaron Ennis, still in the mix at 54. This thing can heat up. So I'm just saying we got some good boxing that can materialize this year. And it don't have to be fighters, fighting outside of their weight classes. They can fight right within their weight divisions because there's a lot of options. And it don't always have to be against a killer versus killer every fight. I told y'all that's not lucrative. I taught y'all the business of boxing about that. That's not how the business is designed. Yes, the best fight the best, but there's timing involved in all of this stuff when it comes to the business of boxing. I know some fans want this person to fight this person. Then after they fight another top level competitor. Then killer after killer after killer. It don't work like that. They are human now in there. I know we're desensitized by seeing people get punched in the face all the time, as boxing fans, but it don't work like that. They're still human at the end of the day, and it's still a business. Longevity has its place in this business, especially when managers and promoters are constantly investing resources in fighters. You know, so that's networks, streaming platforms, investing resources in fighters. So you got to materialize things, build things up. You know, and we'll talk more about that. But if you're watching the replay of this live, I thank you for joining. Please, in the comment section below, tell me your thoughts on this Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. When do you think they should fight? Ryan Garcia suspended for 6 months, so we got to wait to see what's going on with him when he comes back. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking anyway. I mean, don't take my word